once you're sitting in your circle, then we do a welcome activity, okay? So the expectations on the slide are things that you can review with your students. The purpose of it is it sets a positive tone. So if for some reason you get started and it's not feeling positive, just stop and remind them, hey, this is a time when we're going to be positive. That's the whole point of this. You know, if it's not going to be positive, let's go ahead and take a break and start over. But we really want this to be a positive time. It's a chance for everybody's name to be said, because you know, some students may go through the day and might not be greeted a lot, or they might not hear their name a lot throughout the day. So this is a chance when they're like, oh man, you know I'm here. You know that, you know, I matter, and it matters that I'm here today. Everyone's greeted at least once, and greetings are respectful, and then you also can teach them this is a good time to make eye contact with each other. That's a professional skill. We can start to weave these personal and professional skills into the advocacy time, teaching them how to do a good firm handshake, teaching them to look one another in the eye. It's just a good life skill, whether it comes naturally or whether it doesn't. It's a good thing in the future to be able to do that, especially with adults, and that can be scary. So make sure your kids sit by you every once in a while and have to like look at you in the eye and give you a handshake, okay? So we're going to go ahead and practice this. And I don't know if it will be, if we want to have the microphone coming around the circle or not, yeah? So is there enough room for you to get around the edge? Okay. So we're just going to do a fist bump greeting. And the cool thing about the greeting is you can do it any way as long as it includes the name of the person. So if you don't know who's sitting next to you, ask them their name. That's probably just me. What's your name?
David.
David. This is David.
Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, David and Andrea. I'm Leslie. Okay.
And that's, and I think that's important, especially at the beginning of the year, because, you know, students don't learn each other's names. You know, if we don't help them, you know, you'll get halfway through the year and someone will be like, what's your name again? It's like, whoa.
Whoa.
You know, so
Good
I
point.
can see the point of, you know, making sure we learn the name.
And you also make sure that they realize that it's not an embarrassment that you don't know that child's name. Because like halfway through the year, I mean, sometimes I blank out.
Right.
So it's okay to like role play that for them and say, you know, and kind of laugh it off, because I know that's one of the things that we did in our morning meeting, but it is very intentional. But it's those moments that you teach them to look at your friend, and we role play. Why would you go, good morning, Carolina?
Yeah.
And they're like, because that makes me feel like you're not really saying good morning, you know? And so explaining why eye contact is important in each piece of that is huge for them.
Yep. Any other thoughts? I love these thoughts. Any other thoughts about the greeting? I'll ask you more later. So we're going to do a special greeting this morning. We're going to do a foreign language greeting. So think about how to say hello or good morning in any language you want. It can be English if you don't know a foreign one. If everyone uses Spanish, I'm totally fine with that. But if you know some other cool language, like go ahead and use that one. And we'll try to guess what it is in our minds. And we'll just do a fist bump and make sure you know the person's name and use that name. And look them, as we said, look them in the eye, give them a smile, okay? So I'll go first, and then we'll pass it around the circle, and it looks like this. Konnichiwa, David.
Buenos dias, Jason.
Bonjour, Cassie.
Buenos dias. Hello, Laura. Hola, Sierra.
Bonjour, Tara. It was, what's that? Carolina.
Ciao. Hola, Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. Good, Carrie. Aloha.
Dobry dia.
What's up, Gurmeet?
Namaste, Allison.
Ah.
Jumbo. Pete. Shalom, Christy. Hola, Chandra. Hola, Brenda. Weedu Andrea.
Aloha, Leslie.
Aloha. Aloha, Andrea. There you go. That was a greeting. It can go quickly once they get the hang of it, okay? So a couple of questions. Let's see, there's different ways to do it. There's a bunch of ideas for this grading in your advocacy book, so once you get those guides, it'll give you a whole list of more ideas than you ever wanted that you can implement with your students. There's a million ways to do this, okay? So let's just reflect for a second. Can someone raise your hand and tell me, what did it feel like to be welcomed?
It felt really good. One of the things that we do, because we do this a lot in my classroom, so it was kind of uncomfortable because I'm used to the kids sit back to each other before we move on to the next person, so that way they feel like they're both having that interaction with each other.
Good.
So to me, it kind of felt like I felt
Awkward.
like I was letting her down in some way, like I wasn't
Yep.
saying it back to her and being respectful and acknowledging that she. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Let's go ahead and
Right.
let's try it again. We're gonna just come to you and let's do it back as well so that you guys can see the difference. I actually prefer it saying back as well, but I forgot to set it up that way. So let's do it again and you guys can observe the difference, okay? So, buenos dias, David.
Buenos dias.
And Leslie, let's try to say the
Leslie.
name back. Okay, good. Go
right.
ahead.
Buenos dias, Jason.
Buenos dias, David. Bonjour, Cassie.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Salam alaikum, Laura.
Hello, Melissa. Hola, Sierra.
Hola, Flori. There you go, Allison.
Bonjour, Sarah. Bonjour, Tara.
Bonjour, Allison.
Nice.
Hola, Carolina.
Hola, Tara.
Ciao, Chris. Hola, Carolina. Hola.
Okay, we'll just stop it there. How did that feel? We'll go back to you since we have the mic near you. How did that feel?
It felt better because I felt like I had acknowledged her reading,
I like
which I
it.
think is really important for kids to acknowledge each other when they talk to each other.
Yep.
In that social emotional development, and it's
Yes.
so it felt more complete, I guess.
Yes.
Than just leaving her hanging like. I'm glad you said good morning to me, but I'm going to move it right on to my friend who's next to me, you know. And sometimes I think
Yep.
we do that, and we don't take the time to really stop and acknowledge that people
I love that.
are talking to each
I
other.
have an observation. That even amongst us, we work together, we're adults, there was some nervousness I noticed in the process. So if you think about our kids, it's just going to be amplified. So allowing them the space to be nervous, to show their nervousness in certain ways without judgment, I think is important at the beginning.
One thing that I noticed with myself was that when we did it the first time, I was so focused on what I was going to say to the next person, I wasn't mindful of the interaction that came first.
Yeah.
But I felt like I had more of that space and opportunity to take that mindful moment and kind of be calm was going to next. So it was kind of helpful as well.
I love that.
Kind of along both of those is that the point of this is not to do it as fast as you can, to slow down and take your time so that you're not worried. Because I was doing the same thing. I'm like, I blanked your name and I've known you for a year. Because I'm in my head going, what language do I know how to say hello in? You
Yeah.
know? And so my mind's going in like 3 different languages and trying to think of that and then almost trying to rush on so that everyone gets a chance when
Yeah.
it, like you said, it can take 5 minutes, it can take 15. So just take your time, take
I
a
love
deep
that.
breath and let it be.
How do you think the students, what do you think the students will like about this? Or dislike? And how will you respond when they do?
Being able to show that creative side. We have students that travel quite a bit, so they probably know the other languages. And so being able to show that creative side, like
Yeah.
what I know and you might not know, but I can teach you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think though that like on the other end of that, it's going to be really awkward for our students, and like especially those first 2 meetings, like I imagine not having anything except for just say hello, because
Yep.
honestly, like trying to remember Chris's name, who I know really well, and I shouldn't forget her name. I had to think about it because I was ready to say hi to Elizabeth, and like so my brain was, I mean, it's just switching that and thinking about each person in that moment and taking the time to say, no, that was way too fast. Let's slow down and actually like
Nice.
acknowledge and have eye contact with every person.
Nice.
And I think that's really hard for our students because that's not something that they're used to. And it's something that like, even us, we're all not used to.
Right?
So I found I attempted to do something very similar in the middle school last year.
Okay.
And there were kids who so we would go through with gratitude, and then you go through and like shake everybody's hand and say good morning, and then the whole line sort of comes back through. And I literally had kids who could not shake another kid's hand in an entire year. Like they couldn't touch one of their, like they couldn't just be like, then they would just walk away. Like they just physically couldn't bring themselves to touch another person to look them in the eye and say good morning. Like that was just too much for them. So even sort of, it took me a long time. David actually kind of worked me through something. Like I would just be like, we've done it for 9 months. You gotta shake somebody's hand and look at it and be like, good morning. And kind of realizing that not every kid's gonna make it. I mean, I'm hoping, I have some of those same kids again this year, and I'm hoping this is gonna be the year where they can look another kid in the eye and say good morning. So.
And that'll be a great day.
It will be.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Just to add on that is, I think it's important for all the kids to know that they can opt out. If they have a bad morning or whatever, they're just not feeling it, they don't have to do it.
Safe place, right?
Safe place, exactly.
That's good.
I think that plays into to some of our kids do have like major issues. Some have like huge overexcitabilities or some pretty intense sensory issues. And that day, shaking somebody's hand or being this close to somebody might really be beyond their abilities. And I think thinking about that ahead of time is going to be really important in our school because we need to know how are we still going to keep them in a safe place, put them on that same level playing field when they are physically not in a place to be part of the circle, right? But we don't want to exclude them from the circle because of their differences and I have no idea how that would, in practice necessarily be addressed, but I know that it's something that, comes up for our kids on a regular basis.
Oh, 1 sec. There we go.
Not to presume any cantankerous behaviors by anyone, but as I was doing this, I could picture like some of the kids I'm working with correcting a pronunciation across the room, and so just that kind of norm setting around. You say you're greedy, however you want, or just not getting derailed by sometimes that. Well, I was in Germany and I know how to say that. That's not how you say good morning, or that's actually good night, or any kind of. That came up for me as how would we set some norms around around greeting each other, which we're doing some risk taking, all these other pieces, and sometimes wanting to assert authority can happen in my experience with the kids.
That leads into my next question that you can do with your students, and it is, did we meet the expectations that we reviewed? So you might sit down with your students, you might give them the expectations the first day, do a very simple greeting, don't do the foreign language one the first day. Just say, hey, David.
Hi, Leslie.
There it is. Just do that the first day and then ask them afterwards, hey guys, did we meet the expectations that we reviewed? And can someone just share, do you guys think we did a good job? Was there anything we could do better? Yeah.
Maybe I couldn't see very well, but I didn't see eye contact from you to David.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't.
Just something to remember, right? Maybe you could look him in the eye when you say hi to him.
Great, let me try again. Hi, David.
Hey, Leslie.
Is that better?
And I'd like to add on to that is that eye contact is hard. Some people will use it as a stage to act out. Some people will want to derail it. Not everybody, not in every class, but I would imagine one of our advocacy classes will have one student that will want to derail this process every day because they don't feel like they can be part of it for whatever reason, so they'll want to make sure nobody else gets to be part of it. And so I think that's one thing to think about beforehand. And but whatever happens, as a teacher, it's going to show us and tell us a lot about our kids.
That's a good point.
Right? As they go around, like some things will come out that we can file away and be like, oh, okay.
Yep. Has anyone experienced that? I know you've done it before, or you've probably done it before. Any suggestions for each other about how to respond when there's a student who really doesn't want to participate or wants to make it not what it's supposed to be?
I've had a student that it was very uncomfortable for him to be in a situation because he was autistic, but the kids respected that, and so they were all very excited on the days that he chose to join us.
Cool.
And he would get very excited and smile, and but on the days he needed that space, they kind of gave him that space.
Nice.
So, and I think everybody kind of has those off days. So every one of them is a teachable moment to say we need to respect each other, and just as much as making eye contact, but it's also just as important to give them their time, and then when they join us, look at how great that would be.
Yeah.
Letting them, and because if we would have forced it, he would have probably derailed the whole thing.
Sure.
And it wouldn't have been as meaningful for everybody else either.
Yep.
Also, it's important just to value where every student's at. Like, none of it, in my experience, running this circle, none of it can be negative. Like, no, you need to make eye contact with me right now. No, like, never any of that, right? If the kid doesn't want to shake a hand and isn't there, like, he's not there, and let's celebrate, though, every little step he makes toward that, or every time that he decides to join the circle, like, that's a celebration. And every time that he looks at the person next to him, like, that might be a celebration. And so just like maintaining that mindset that we're celebrating each other, that this is a safe place that we mentioned before. And you guys know your kids, you know the students in your room, and if you don't, you will. And so you will be the masters of this. You'll know what to do. And just stay positive and stay fluid and stay flexible with this process. But don't give up on it if it's hard.
I would have taught them so they can pass them on. If right away you would start with, hey, they greet someone by saying, God's peace be with you. That's profound, right? For another human being to be like, God's peace be with you. Or aloha, it's hello Ed, I'm never going to lose contact with you. It's hello and goodbye, right? If our kids have that intellectual sort of piece to it, they were far more responsive to me. So just a tiny piece of you can grab onto this, and you're not socially emotionally learning. I'm not expecting that, but you're doing, there's another hook for them. I think they were always more responsive to me in that case.
I love that. And that reminds me, you can give your once you want to scaffold this, right? So you start out easy, but you're doing it the whole year. So you can start to give your students more ownership in this. And you might say, if you feel like a kid is ready for a challenge with some leadership, you might pull them aside and be like, hey, Tom, tomorrow, I want you to lead the greeting. And I want you to do you might say, I want you to pick whatever greeting you want, or whatever style. Or I might say, let's do foreign language, and I want you to pick which foreign language we're all going to use today, and introduce it to the class or whatever. So you can start to, if you have a couple students who are ready and you want to do this, you can have them lead the greeting, the sharing, whatever it is, part of the class. Because the point of the rituals is to make this time easy for you as a teacher to prepare for, because it becomes second nature. You don't have to think, you just do. And for your students too. They'll start to get used to it. Same thing, same drill every day. So then you can start to play with it a little.